All right. Sorry about that. We're back. Ugh. Apologies for the disconnection. Let me get logged back in here. I hate it when that happens.
I don't use my AMP very mentor edition. Um,
What the heck are you doing, OBS? Okay.
I also don't use the Buchan.
Yeah, you don't use the Buchan or the A&P, but you should start using your Buchan. That one's actually pretty decent. Like I said, once you get back into it.
I use the Osmond S1 X1
I do too.
over the Buchan, but I don't use the rifle. I use the Solis.
Well, I use the Buchan mainly as a fallback weapon. I don't use it exclusively.
You're gonna have to read me chat.
Yep, you're correct. You're correct. As I was saying before we disconnected, you really don't want to use a level 100 weapon if you can get away with it, but I just do every now and then just to tinker with it. Hey, dang it. Hang on, let me get YouTube going again. All right.
I don't use anything that I'm not out of SIV.
There we go.
But that's just me.
Right. All right.
My mentor taught me that.
But
then my mentor doesn't do that.
Well, of course not. And who was your mentor?
You.
Me? Are you sure? No, I'm kidding, guys. All right. But yeah, you are absolutely correct. I forgot what I was doing. Anyway, but we're doing some testing with the Mentor Edition weapons because we think there is something going on that they're not telling us with those. Like they do a lot of things. But as a general rule, you're right. You don't want to use a level 100 weapon, or if you're just starting SIB.
Kill yourself.
Oh, I'm gonna die again already. Shit. I guess I should put my armor on.
Mercs do all the work for you. They come to you.
Yeah, they'll come to you. You don't have to really move around a lot. I apologize in advance if there's any more disconnects. Our internet has been really bad lately.
Need a gun?
I've got a gun. I just need to put my armor on first. There we go. You can't hurt me now, but you're gonna decay my armor. I guess a gun would help. Alright. Yeah. So if you can avoid it, don't use an SIB gun. The general rule of thumb to use a weapon that's already maxed out is to be 5 levels above what the recommended level is. That way you know.
That's with armor.
That's with armor. Actually, that's with any gun. Or any weapon. Or really any item, because the less time you spend in SIB, the better off you are. SIB is there to kind of help you through it, but...
Oh, look, you got 4 of them coming.
Yeah, and I got all kinds of crazy stuff on my screen here. Oops, wrong one. Oh my. That's a lot. We're gonna have to thin those out a bit. We'll run down here closer to the guns, but I think I got everybody's attention. Don't worry, these guys back here can't actually hit me. It's just the ones that are directly in front of you. That's why when you see a person with a whole bunch of mob balling going on, there's only generally about 6 mobs that are actually hitting you. The rest can't hit you through the ones that are in front of them. And of course it helps to have good dodge and evade skills. Oh man, why is that still... Go away. What the heck is going... Alright, Windows. Hang on. Here, let me try something here. There we go. No. Windows, why are you acting crazy? Must have been the update it just did. But anyway, back to the merps here. Now, every time I resize the screen...
It doesn't happen to me when I...
Yeah, I don't understand why it doesn't... I don't know why it doesn't do that to you, but...
I'm glad since I don't have to mess with it.
That gets annoying because I always have to rearrange my screen when I do that. Ouch. Alright. So yeah, as you can see, you can have like 100 mobs stacked up on you, but only 6 are going to hit you at a time. So that's the trick to mob balling. I think I went over that before. But it is a good way to stack up some mobs so you don't really have to move anywhere. If you're a lazy hunter and you don't like running around a lot, that's a good way to have a whole bunch of them in one place.
I want more than I hunt.
Well, a lot of people do. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just not my cup of tea, but...
I know, you can't stand... You don't like
I think
standing
it's...
in one spot with the sweat gun out. You'd rather just stand there with no sweat gun out.
Yeah, I think it's... I don't know.
You don't value skills.
I do value skills.
Or sweating skills.
No, I don't know. It's just not my cup of tea, really. Now, one really smart thing to do that a lot of players we know do is they will take their sweat and sell it and save up the money that they get, the PED that they get for their sweat, and then they will turn around and reinvest it in shares or deeds. That's one good thing you can do with sweat, is you save it up, sell it off, and reinvest that PED into shares. So that way the sweat PED that you get is actually, you know, other than being used for crafting or selling or, you know, making Mind Force and such. That's one way you can take your sweat money and make it work for you even more. Why is that?
Yeah, I didn't mean that he didn't value skills. I meant that he doesn't value sweating skills.
No, it's not that. I just don't do it. I don't. And it's not because I think it's bad or anything. I just don't. It's just not my cup of tea is all. So nothing bad. What? Oh, I have no idea. So hopefully we won't have any more disconnects, or if we do, we'll have very few. We're probably going to try and go until midnight. That way we'll get us a nice clean Christmas stream. Oh shit, that's not the right one anymore. Damn it. Hang on. No, that's cancel. Okay, wait a minute. I know what I gotta do. Let's go back to the stream manager. Oh no, wait, what are you doing? No, stop it. That one. There we go. Alright. Let's see. Let's kill these two right quick. I'll do that here in a second with the new stream address for YouTube.
That was almost a 4-ped one.
Yeah, that one was almost 4-ped. It's because of all the decay I had stacked in it. Now, one thing, if you're mob balling, you will possibly get a better return. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. But it is a good way to tier your armor. Whoa! He was happy to see me. My goodness. It's a good way to tier your armor. It's a good way to build, dodge, and evade. But keep in mind, when you decay load mobs, and if you die and just leave it, or you just leave them in general, somebody else is going to come along and kill that mob, and they're not going to get any loot. Oh, crap. That's why he flew so much. So, if you are mob balling, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to say correct. It's the, oh, crap. The polite thing to do, I guess. Customary, that's what I'm thinking. The customary thing to do is make sure that you've got all of your decay-loaded mobs cleaned up. Don't leave them out there for people to run across lootless mobs, because, number one, that sucks when you hit a mob that has no loot. And number two, if there's more than 2 or 3 of them out there that are lootless, people are going to get pretty damn pissed off at you and everybody else in the area if they don't know who did it. So generally, if you're mob balling, try to clean up your mobs when you're done. Not only that, it can be reported as an exploit if you don't. So keep that in mind. There is, I guess you would say, there's a proper way and a rude way to do it. The rude way is to just leave all your mobs all over the place that are decay loaded and for somebody else to kill and all that. That's the rude way to do it. Don't do that. But in general, most people that use mob balling as a technique, they clean up after themselves. You might have, and sometimes you die and sometimes you disconnect. That can't be helped. But if you can help it, try to go back and clean up the mobs that you decay loaded.
Myself and some people in local yesterday on Serene were having a discussion about killing dry mobs too.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I ran across a dry mob and I said I found a dry mob.
Yeah.
And they said that was happening a lot out there yesterday. And it was upsetting some of the splinters.
Well, it will, because you come up to a mob and you expect to be able to swan it, and there's no sweat in it. Now, it could be that the person that was swanning it died and just never came back, or they disconnected and never logged back in again, or couldn't by the time, that does happen.
Well, I disconnected and then couldn't find the dry mob again.
Yeah. So it does happen. And I think you're right, OSD. It does ignore gravity sometimes. Or that one was just really, really happy to see me. Alright, now that I've got that fixed, let's fix our other thing here. Oops. Wait. Let me refresh that. That might not be correct. So, alright guys, what do you think about the new space mining that they're working on? I think it's really going to be a cool opportunity for people. Come on! Oh, it's still thinking. As far as the things that they're talking about being able to do, ooh, what the? Come on. This thing is all right. What's
It's still
there? We go. Nah, sometimes it does that. Man, I hate it when it puts that garbage in there. Okay, let's fix this. And right now I've got some mobs that are on me, but I'll get to them in a second. All right. But yeah, these have been paying out fairly decent recently over here. Now I don't know what they're paying out at Orthos. Might be about the same, but I think it's because not as many people come out here and hunt these out here when there's Orthos right there.
like I said, I normally go to Orthos.
A lot of people do. And there's nothing wrong with that. They're still level 5 merps.
But there's more trees out there to cut than out here. I don't think any of these trees are cuttable.
I don't know. I haven't checked. They might be. I just haven't checked any of them. Okay, let's see. So anyway, about the space mining stuff that they're working on, I think it's going to be a cool opportunity as far as the job system that they're talking about. One thing that I don't know how it's going to work is I'm pretty sure it's going to be pricey. It's probably going to cost more than a warp on a privateer or a mothership would, but they are introducing planetary teleport, which means you'll be able to teleport from Calypso to Cyrene or whatever using a token that you have to craft. Now, we don't, and apparently, more than likely, to make these tokens, you're going to have access to space mining, which they already did the space mining ship event and all that kind of stuff, and there's a limited amount of the ships, so
There's 10 in game.
There's 10 of the mining ships in the game, which I really don't like the way they did that. If they were going to introduce space mining, they should have made it accessible for everyone. They should have just made a new ship that everybody could build if you wanted to do space mining. You know, maybe put a few defensive capabilities on it, like they do the quad wings and the Sleipnirs, and just let it go at that. Because at this point, the way the space mining is going to work is you're going to have... Oh, that was a really good one. That was about 6.5 ped for that one. You're going to end up... I just see it being a big mess because everybody's going to want to do space mining, but not everybody is going to have the capability. Yeah. And the thing about it was, the event that they had to make the ships, if you weren't a high-level player with a bankroll, forget it.
Or you weren't a high-level crafter.
Or if you weren't a high-level crafter, forget it. Or, you know, if you were a new player and didn't have any kind of bankroll at all, forget it. That's something that, you know, it kind of irks me when they do these events and they're more geared towards people with a lot of ped, you know, than they are new players. If you ask me, they should be making some of these events equally as accessible to new players as they do the whales and the Ubers and the people like that. But I also understand that those are the people that spend the most money on the game.
That's how they make their money.
That's how they make their money. You know, because I'll be honest with you, Mindark hates free-to-play players. They hate them with a passion. And the reason for that is because we are playing the game within the parameters of the game, and we don't really put anything new into the game as far as new ped, or, you know, it doesn't refresh the ped pool or any of that. Because we operate within the confines of the game, we're not really adding anything in terms of paying for anything that they need us to pay for. So they don't really like free to play players that much because we're not contributing in a monetary way to the game because we're working with what's already inside the game. So that's probably, yeah. Oh, nice. But yeah, as I was saying, we work with what's already in the game, so I can understand why they, kind of don't think about us all that much. But at the same time, I think if they made it a little bit more accessible to free to play players and low depot players, they would get a lot more people doing those events and making them the money that they're after.
If money wasn't so tight, we'd probably depot the
Oh
bigger
yeah,
players.
if our money wasn't so tight, we'd probably depot here and there too. We'd be low depot players, but because
Because I know being free to play is harder on you than it is for me because I do go sweat and I enjoy that.
yeah,
Whereas sweating is a four-letter word for you.
I wouldn't so much say that. I mean, it's one of the least. I mean, like I said, you can do a lot with sweat. Don't let anybody tell you that it's worthless, because it's not. There's a lot you can do with it. There's a lot of blueprints that need it. There's, you can always sell it and reinvest the ped that you get. Um, all kinds of stuff. But for some players, it's just not their cup of tea, and I'm just one of those players that, nah, I'd rather spend the time that I'm standing there shooting something. That's more of a long term kind of thing to where, once you get a routine set up, it can actually do well for you, but I'm not gonna sit there and try and set up a routine.
I have a routine.
I've got too much other shit going on.
I get downright upset when I'm not doing my routine.
Yeah. But another thing is, now you guys see that I don't have a lot of ped and all that, but I'm getting decent returns. Now, one other part of that is where my skills are at. As a new free to play player, you are not going to get nearly the returns I am getting. It does take time to build up looter skills and serendipity and things like that do help quite a bit for a free to play player. So what you really want to do as a free to play player, you kind of want to focus on your resource gathering skills.
I thought you got serendipity from level 30.
It's any level 30 combat is when serendipity unlocks. And serendipity, by the way, is your luck. That's your luck stat is serendipity. And it doesn't unlock until level 30 in any combat profession.
I'm not there yet. My highest are level 26, but
And
I have BLT and laser ball.
all right. Now, one of the fastest ways you can skill those is by cutting trees, actually. Because when you gather trees, you're gathering resources. Looter skills are resource gathering skills, so those are included in the 12 skill set that I mentioned earlier.
What color is that color?
Marigold. Marigold. Orange.
Look what he said about it.
Dirty brown, yeah.
That's just why I wanted to look at it.
But, so yeah. Let's see, that's a little bit of a squirrely topic, wasn't it?
Wait, did I see fruit?
I don't know. Maybe. So what I would recommend for newer players is work on your resource gathering, your dodge and evade, and your looter skills. Those are the three most important skills for a free-to-play player to have as you're leveling your weapons and figuring out what you want your primary thing to be. I'm going to have to restart.
Your mic's working again.
Okay, the mic's back. Let's see. Oops, not that.
The soundboard came unplugged.
Yeah, I unplugged the soundboard on accident. Okay. Let me restart MooBot to get the music back. Man, see, stuff like that just gets me distracted all kinds of ways. Okay. No. Come on. Yeah, I'm sure I'm fine though. Oh my goodness. MooBot, quit being a pain in the ass. There we go. Nope. God dang it. All right. Hang on a minute, guys. I will be right back. Oh, boy, I never recorded. This is being a giant pain. I hate it when that happens. All right. Okay, guys, I will be